Hi guys, welcome back to this morning. We are cooking the gorgeous and lovely breakfast burritos from camp. Now, if you've had these before, you know how awesome they are. There's a fair few ingredients and your timing to cook it is a little bit essential to make sure it's perfect. So our ingredients are bacon, egg, hash browns, Spanish onion, lettuce, tomato, and of course a bit of cheese, and of course our lovely relish. Now I have a relish made, it's actually made in Victoria, but I bought it in the Hunter Valley from the olive factory. If I can find this online for you guys, I'll put it on there because this is made out of fresh ingredients. If you can't access this one, the other option I use is Master Foods tomato relish from Woolworths. Personally, not a fan of buying things from Woolworths these days, so I look for things like this, but I know this one tastes sensational, so that's what we're using today. So the first thing we're going to do is prepare up the base ingredients. We've got a couple of eggs, we have our bacon, and we have our hash browns. So depending on if you've got a full rasher of bacon, you want to use one rasher per wrap. Same as one egg. Now, it may not seem like much in the wrap, but when you add all the ingredients together, it fills up pretty quickly. So the first thing we need to do is organize our onion. So today I'm cooking for 3, so I'm making 3 wraps. So I'm just going to whip up, I'm only going to use half an onion in this because remember the onion does shrink a little bit once it hits the pan. So remember how to slice onions if you've been on camp or on one of my cooking classes. Straight out. And then leave, because we're making the burritos, rather than dicing the onion, we're just slicing it. So straight through, give it some nice rings, and that should be enough there for us. All right, they're ready to go. Our bacon's here ready, and our eggs are here, and our hash browns. So we're gonna hit the stove straight away. First thing we're gonna do is pop a little bit of butter in. We've got 2 pans going, one for the bacon, one for the eggs to get started on. Now, obviously, I don't have egg rings at the moment, so I'm just going to throw all my eggs in together and chop them up to put them in the burritos. So if you've got egg rings at home, guys, use those, because then we just slice the eggs in half and layer them in the burrito. Otherwise, we'll skip straight through. Oh, I mentioned to forget one of the ingredients, avocado, my favorite ingredient. All right, let's hit the stove and get into it. Oh, there's onions kicking in already. Whew. All right, so I've got my eggs, my bacon, I'm going to hit the stove. All right, guys, so here we are. So we're going to turn our pans on here. Make sure they're running perfectly. Excellent. So I'm going to get a little... Oops, did I just crack my egg? Nope, not yet. So getting a little bit of butter here, guys. Just a tiny bit. Just to put in the pan for the eggs. Just like that. Let that mixer heat up. And as soon as that's fully melted, our eggs can start to go in. You're just going to crack them straight in the pan. Well, I am. So we've got our other pan heating up here. As soon as they're both hot, bacon's going to go in. To start with, because as the bacon cooks through, what we can do is we can then put it on the side just to sit on some paper towel on a plate. The reason why we use paper towels is it soaks up that oil, so we get rid of that fat stuff on the side. Alrighty, our butter is almost ready to go, which means this pan will be nice and hot too, so we're going to stick our bacon in here. Alright, and this packet happens to have 3 rashers of bacon. How perfect's that? Alright, stick that straight in. So the bacon I usually cook quite roughly because we're sticking it in the wrap, so 3 and a bit, that's alright. Someone can have some extra bacon today. So I'm going to stick that all straight in there, let that start to cook through. I'm going to crack my eggs. So when you're cracking your eggs, guys, be careful to get a nice even crack on it so that the shell doesn't get in there. There we go. 1, 2, alright. And 3. Okie dokie. So we've got our tongs and our spatula here ready to go. Our eggs are in cooking through. So as you can see, I've actually put them all in together. So all I'm going to do is wait for it to cook through halfway. I'm going to take the edges off around it. I'm going to flip the whole thing in one go and cook it as one giant egg. And then later on, I'm going to slice through it into little thin slices to lay it into the burritos perfectly. So it's all mixed in nicely. All right, our bacon is starting to sizzle. Wonderful. Okay, now, the reason why we put our bacon on first is because we actually want to use the fat from the bacon in the pan to cook the hash browns as well as the onion. Alrighty, now where's my tea towel? Alright, I'm using a tea towel because these handles on these pans get hot really quickly. Alright, just going to put the bacon over. As you can see, it's starting to brown already. The joys of bacon is it cooks as hot as you want it and as fast as you want it. So the hotter your pan is, the faster it'll cook. It's nice and thin. All right, our eggs are starting to bubble there, so I'm just going to Leave those as they are. Give them a little bit of a jiggle around so it evens out. Excellent. All right, so we're going to leave this now. We're going to jump back over and we're going to start to organize the other ingredients. Let's go. So while that's cooking through, make sure you keep a close eye on it so it doesn't burn. We're just going to organize our lettuce and everything like that. So I'm just going to pick a bunch of lettuce leaves here because they're going to have to be washed. Now, you probably only really want, depending on what sort of lettuce you got, usually only one leaf per wrap. So I've got 4 or 5 here. I'm just going to rinse these out quickly because they are quite dirty. The dirtier your lettuce is, the better. Because you know it's nice and fresh on the ground. There we go. Leave that on the side there because we'll just tear it up with our fingers. Now what we need is our avocado ready to go. That's there. And what other ingredients do we need? We've got our cheese. A bit of grated cheese here, just a little bit. Oh, and our tomatoes, of course. So our tomatoes we're just going to put into thin slices. So I just cut them down like this. And then that way you can lay them into the burrito. Depending on what sort of tomato you get, usually you get about 3 to 5 slices per tomato. So I'm using Roma tomatoes today because it's what's in the fridge. All right, by the sounds of things, from what I can hear behind me, that bacon's ready to be flipped, so let's do it. All righty. Yep, our bacon's almost done. And our eggs are ready to be flipped. So see how I'm just going to give it a little scrape around the edge there? Now guys, if you're doing this at home, do be careful. You're probably better to flick it with the spatula and use one egg at a time. I'm going to attempt to flip all 3 in one big hit. Oh, did you see that? That actually worked. Woo! That's what's called a fat bubble in the bacon. That just went bang. This is exciting today, man. This is like action cooking. This is rocking it out. So hopefully it's not this exciting for you guys at home. So that was a nice little fat bubble in the bacon. You want to be careful of those because, yeah, when they go bang, they can sometimes spit the fat out at you. That's the last thing you want. All right, that egg actually flipped. I'm really happy with that. All right, our bacon's almost ready. So as soon as our bacon's ready, we're just going to put it on the plate we've got on the side here and bring our hash browns over. All righty, let's go back. Okay, so our lettuce is organized, our tomatoes organized, our avocado is here ready to go. We have our onion and, of course, our salsa. So guys, if your jar's a new one, it's a bit tight, use the back of a knife and just knock the edges of it. And what this does is it actually breaks a seal. It's a lot easier to open, just like that. All right, and you'll need a teaspoon as well for that. So what we can do now is I'm using round plates like this because they sit perfectly with the wraps. So all I'm going to do is stick a wrap on here, just like that. I'm going to get a spoon. And depending on how much salsa you want, just going to lay that on there, just like that. Now remember, only go 3/4 of the way because we're actually going to tuck the end in, so that way it all holds together. There we are. Excellent. Whoop. So now I can start to lay my ingredients on there. So my tomato, just like that. Put a bit of lettuce on there now. There we go. So that's some of our ingredients already in there. And now we can get our avocado, which is here. Just want to get a little butter knife to use, that's the best way. And just cut some slices off and stick that in there. There we go. Now, by the sounds of things, that bacon should be pretty much done, so we can put our hash browns on now. Yep. Now, depending on how crispy you like your bacon is up to you, but I'm happy with how crispy this is. So I'm just going to pop this now on the plate on the side here, just like that, and we'll grab my hash browns. Alrighty, I'm going to stick these in here. 1, 2, cooking 5 of them. I'm just going to put 3 in for now because I want to put my onions in as well at the same time. Not all of them, just some of them to start with, so they can start to sizzle through in the same bacon fat as well. Just like that there. So just use your tongs or your spatula to break them up. There we go. And there's my smoke alarm, of course. Goes off every time I cook. I think this took about 4 minutes to be able to get the smoke alarm off this time, which is quite impressive. Now, with your hash browns, you want to turn the pan down, or otherwise they'll burn on the outside, but the inside will still be frozen. So make sure you turn your heat down on them to cook them really slowly. But what you can do then is, whilst you're cooking your eggs still through, you can actually sit your hash browns on top of them to slowly heat once they're done on the top. So there we go, eggs done perfectly. So I'm actually going to take that out of there and put that on the side with my bacon. And I'll put my other 2 hash browns in this pan. Where'd they go? Here they are. Awesome. 1, 2. And the rest of my onion. Break that up into there. There we go. Alrighty. We're doing well. This is cooking very quickly. So this is the time-consuming part, is waiting for our hash browns to cook through. You want to flip them regularly so they don't burn on one side, so they keep cooking through the whole way. Be gentle with them though, because they break up really easily, especially once they get past the defrosting part. Now, if you can leave them out beforehand to defrost in the air, that's really, really beneficial. But otherwise, just make sure you cook them slowly through. Excellent. So I'm going to leave that to sit there now. I'm going to go organize the rest of my wraps and have them ready to go so we can stick everything in all in one go. Let's do it. So I've done number 1 here. My tomato, my avocado, my lettuce, my salsa. I'm now going to do that for the other ones. Oh, bit of cheese. So always put the cheese on the last little bit, because ideally what will happen is when you sit the hash browns and the onion and the bacon and the egg on it, it melts it slightly. So I'm just putting a sprinkle on today because I don't want that much cheese. That's 1 ready to go. Number 2. Alrighty, so salsa. Spread it out. Okie dokie, some tomato. Some lettuce. There we go. Now I need some avocado. Now I'm cutting, there's a little bit of brown bits in here, so I'm cutting around that at the moment, leaving the brown bits for now. Now, if your parents have a garden where they grow stuff, make sure you keep these kinds of things, because they're really good compost to go in the garden. Puts the nutrients back into the ground so that more things can grow. So we've got another avocado here. Now when slicing avocado, just remember there's a big pip in the middle, so just cut around it, just like that. Then rotate it, and it opens up perfectly. Then you can just slice it out. All right, time to flip our hash browns. So we're back over here, guys. We're just going to quickly flip the hash browns again to prevent them from burning. They're starting to cook through nicely. There we go. Oh. This might be a 2-utensil job to get them without breaking them. There we go, they're starting to cook through quite nicely there. All right, let's go back over and finish our wraps. All right, this is number 3 for me. So 3 is how many I'm making, which is perfect. And 1 bit of tomato short. There we go. What else do I need? I need some, ooh, I didn't put cheese in that last one. A bit of cheese on there. Okie dokie. So lettuce, tomato, avocado. These are incredibly healthy for breakfast. Lots of fresh stuff in it. There we go. All right, so what I'm going to do now that they're all ready is I'm actually going to bring my eggs over and slice them up now. Okay. So you may need to wipe your board off just that little bit from the tomato, because it's usually quite juicy. There we go. Right, we've got our egg here. Just going to flip that on the plate. Be careful using your fingers because it could be hot. And all I'm going to do is cut it into thin strips like this. And then I'm just going to lay the strips straight down the wrap, which works perfectly for what we want. Going to do that on all 3 of them. Whoop. Do be careful, guys, it is hot, which you're probably just discovering now like I did. There we go. So our eggs in there as well. Now here's the trick to keep your bacon hot, is we're actually going to put the bacon back on top of the hash browns to sit and rest. All right, so I'm going to flip our hash browns one more time. The ones on the right here, as you can see, are a little bit less cooked than the ones on the right. So the ones on the right are pretty much almost done. So what we're going to do is flip them one more time. And then we're going to pour our bacon back on top. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit there. It's a little bit low right now, they're not cooking too much. And then what that's going to do now is as it cooks the hash browns underneath, the heat's going to come through and reheat the bacon just that little bit ready to go in our burritos to perfection. So we've got these last two here to be done. They'll go in the last wrap, but these first lot here are ready to go pretty much. So once that's heated, we're going to put it straight over there. We're going to chop them all up. We're going to chop the hash browns up into strips as well and stick them straight in the burritos. So if you're making this for family, you can do it as a team effort, or you can do it yourself. As you can see, I'm cooking for 3 quite easily, so you can do it as a surprise breakfast for your parents even, which will make them very happy. Breakfast burritos in bed. Oh, that'd be heaven. Alrighty. There we go, flip those last ones there. So now you can tell, see how they're nice and soft now? We can tell that the middle parts have almost defrosted completely. So now they've defrosted, but they're starting to heat through, which is what we want. So these ones here should be, yep, nice and warm in the middle, which is perfect. So we're almost done. 2 more minutes on this, and they're going to be ready to go. You guys are doing well. And I'm getting really hungry smelling this now. I'm looking forward to this. Oh. All right. What we can actually do now is bring our first wrap over here and use our tongs, and we're just going to start to layer our bacon into our first wrap. Now that it's warmed up again, just going to lay it straight down the middle there, just like that. Grab some onion out of the pan as well, stick that in there. Now if you're not a big fan of onion, that's okay, especially red onion. I get it all the time, I see people who aren't. Trust me, once you've cooked it up and put it in this thing, sensational. And then we're going to have to put a hash brown. Whoop, there we go. As you can see, the hash brown just fell apart. That means it's ready to go. So you really want to get it out of there in one piece ideally and get it onto your burrito and then munch it up inside your burrito. So once it's in there, you can just break it up with the tongs and spread it out. Oh, yeah. I want to put about 1.5 in there, so I'm going to grab a little bit more from this one. Stick it in there. And that wrap's ready to go. Awesome. I'm going to turn the heat down on this pan again because that's done. We don't want to burn it through while we're making the other one. So we're going to bring it over here and wrap it up. So here we are, guys. Our wrap is all complete. Now's the fun part. Like I said, the reason why we only put small amounts of the ingredients is because you see how much is on the wrap already. So this is the gentle part where we've got to pinch it. So as you can see, I'm just mushing it all in together so we can actually close the wrap up. So just going to tuck the end in there, wrap it over, wrap the other side in, nice and tight, be nice and gentle so we don't tear our wrap. And the best way to do it is to actually then roll your wrap over so it holds itself closed, just like that. And that one is all done, ready to go. Let's get our next one here, bring it over the stove. All right, same thing again. Lay our bacon over the top of it. Let's see if we can get a whole one of these hash browns out. You can turn this pan off now, your main pan. Make sure you split the hash browns in the second pan. They're almost done. Let's see if we can scoop a hash brown out here. Oh, we got half of it. So we can get the rest of it. There we go. And again, we're going to munch it up with the tongs there. There we are. Then, we should get a little bit of onion in there. Where's all my onion gone? There it is. It's actually absorbed into my bacon. Even better. There we go. Grab a little bit out of here. All right, let's go wrap this one up as well. So same thing again, guys. We're just going to squeeze it in. Squish it down. Make sure it stays up nice and tight there. I'm going to wrap one side in first because that one's holding really well, just like that. And then our second side. There it is. Roll them over. Round 2 done. All right, time to do our third one.
Okay guys, so these ones are all done now, so you can turn your stove completely off. Now sit the bacon on top there. This one's got a little bit of extra bacon on it actually, compared to the others. So this one's going to be a very tight wrap. Stick our last of our hash brown on. There we go. I'm going to grab some more hash brown out of here. And some onions. Ooh yeah. This one's going to be a very tight squeeze. So I've got a little bit of hash brown left over, but that's all right. Always tastes good. Let's do the last one. All right, this one's going to be a mission to wrap up, but I reckon we can do it. And this is why you got to be really careful of how many ingredients you put into them. There we go. Okay, we're almost there. There we go. That actually worked. And there you have it, guys. 3 breakfast burritos, cooked to perfection, stuffed, packed, and looking sensational. I'm about to go eat the bejesus out of one of these things because I'm starving now from the smell of this. I hope you guys are as successful as I am with this because you're going to love it. And whoever you're cooking for is going to love it too. So, see you next time. Our next breakfast will be either pancakes or something else along those lines. We'll see how we go. Check out the other videos. Look forward to seeing you. If you're watching this for the first time before you cook it, perfect. Check out the list of instructions as well as the ingredients and what equipment you need, and you're good to go. Follow those sets and you'll be ready and you'll have amazing breakfast in however long that took. So about 20 minutes. Have fun, guys. See you later.